Attention bargain hunters and savvy savers. From fashion to furniture, leisure to luxury, and a wide range of household goods and tech from the biggest names in retail. Don't miss 𝘽𝘲𝘲's online auctions. View, bid, buy. It's as easy as pie.
I think the defence has evolved really over, especially 5 years since I've been coaching, and if you take into account 10 years maybe, whilst I was playing as well, you'd probably find a coach on the training park with 15 players in front of them, telling them to come up, back, left, right, etc. So what you're not finding there is any type of problem solving or decision making. So I think defence has evolved in the sense of there's far more emphasis on problem solving and decision making, and that's hopefully what we're trying to facilitate at Aberavon as well.
I think defence, especially the last couple of years, has been completely different to anything I've ever known. I think, in fairness, 𝘱𝘨 gives us opportunities to look at defence in a completely different way, not your bog standard, how many tackles you make or your collision dominance. I think we're given areas to explore different avenues in defence. I think, in particular, for myself, I've been given a lot of free role this year as a 9 and just defending how I want and trying to see the picture. I've always just seen myself as someone chuck my head in there, but like I said, in this season and the last couple of seasons since I've been at Aberavon and working with Chris, it's kind of opened up a whole new idea of defending for me, just being really creative with how I do different things.
He makes sure the attack are really challenging what we do in defence, and I think the way we do defend in training is replicated in games, and that's why we are comfortable on a Saturday defending, because we put so much pressure on each other on a Tuesday night and a Thursday night. So yeah, being able to replicate that then in training and put it into a game means that we're used to the scenarios that we are seeing on a Saturday and we're comfortable with dealing with them.
I think in the past I probably would have focused on attack more. I would have been, that was where I thought I was actually my strong part of my game. But coming to Aberavon's actually probably flipped that a little bit. I probably find myself being a better defender than I am attacker at the moment. And I think that comes from the enjoyment of it. All our sessions are quite fun, they're different, they're challenging, they're making you think a bit more, and I'm enjoying it, to be honest.
The sessions are enjoyable, and I've actually started to enjoy defending in the game. You know, he's rewarding the boys with grenade bars, and he's just really positive around it. And you know, there are going to be mistakes, but he's looking for solutions.
As players, it's quite player-led, and we've got a defence kind of leadership group where we discuss opposition teams or even discuss our own strengths and look at finding different ways to break teams down. As I discussed just now, I think there's a lot of freedom within my role this year, and that's really like just a licence to kind of see the game in front of me, and as players, it's a lovely feeling to have, just backing your own strengths.
We've got our themes, you know, we like to be aggressive, you know, apply pressure, and force the skills, a massive one as well. So we have these little conversations, and a lot of them are team driven as well. But it's important to have these micro conversations with, you know, for myself as a centre, whether that's inside centre and the wingers, whether we're going to go hard or not. And we talk about like TIPS, which is time in the tackle, PTP, post tackle pressure. So there are all these little terms and phrases that we use to try and just keep ringing a little bell in your head. So you know, you make a tackle, but that's not the end of your work. There's a lot of stuff to do afterwards, but those micro conversations between each other is massive in terms of us being successful on the pitch.
I think if we facilitate training where the picture changes for them quite frequently, then the players are going to learn how to adjust their body positions, etc. And so I guess from a practical point of view, we just need to show them different pictures that they're probably not seeing in games at the moment against some teams. But if we keep changing and keep adapting the way that we're defending, the boys are only going to get better through understanding and application. And going with that, again, it's just conversations with people. How do they feel here? What are they doing here? It's a trade-off of space. You know, if we give them one bit of space, can we put them back into another bit of space? So it's setting traps, etc., and stuff like that. So it's just exploring different ways and trying to get boys excited really about defence.
This year, really, Chris has brought out the general award, whereby the kind of point system changes week on week depending on who you're playing against. And again, then it's not based on maybe how many tackles you make or how hard that tackle is. It's kind of exploring different ways to get that ball back within a number of phases. For example, a charge down might be certain points, interceptions. So it really values all different aspects of defending.
Our mindset in defence is pretty simple. It's get the ball back. It's get the ball back as quickly as possible. Contrary to popular belief, I'd prefer to win a game 43-40 than as opposed to winning a game 3-0. We're at the mindset of trying to get these boys to enjoy their rugby, play with smiles on their face, and going back to defence, it's trying to get their hands on the ball as quickly as possible.
Every week we have a discussion really about how we want to defend as a back three, whether that means putting more players in the back three or keeping certain players there based on what the opposition are going to be like. Obviously bringing in like the 50-22 this year has changed the way we defend. So I think the types of conversations we have is making sure that we're shutting off the opposition for the weekend coming, and making sure that we're setting, well, we call it traps really, showing them places where they may want to find space, but trying to shut that space off.
So the review and the preview sessions, they're pretty interesting on a Monday morning, Monday afternoon with Swank. He's really positive. You know, he's in the WhatsApp group with stats and trying to pick the general of the week. I'm 30 years of age now and I'm still learning, which is exactly what you want. You want to be challenged.
I think people can delve into stats and numbers quite a bit, probably way too much, and rugby's got a habit of doing that. And without context, it means nothing. So from my point of view, feel is huge, especially in defence. You know, a number's not going to tell you whether you should be going out the line and hitting a man on ball, or if you should be going soft. Yeah, you can count them and try and make a decision, but at the end of the day, being in those wider channels, making those decisions whether you're going to be going or not, and having those little micro convos with everyone around you is really important. So definitely feel over stats.
And so as a back three player, we're just communicating through the week, see what pictures other teams produce, if they kick a lot, if they play with a sweeper, how can we counteract their attack. And
you know, like I said, the challenge to actually, you know, put ourselves in awkward situations and try different things, whether it's like traps or trying to manipulate the attack to make them do things that they didn't want to do. And I think that's just bringing more energy out in our sessions.
I think there's been a few challenges over the years. I think there was one year where we said we were having a bit of a problem with boys being quite passive in the tackle. So I think in that year we just decided to say there's no jackling. I think their first thought was to go for that jackal as opposed to making a dominant hit. So at the time, definitely thought it was the right thing to do, but looking back a little bit now, kind of probably stripping their decision making away from them. But likewise, and probably to contradict myself as well, we've made good gains from those type of challenges that we've set as well. Some teams are playing a different brand of rugby, different style of rugby than other teams, and I think what you do face quite often is defending the same pictures week in, week out. However, there are teams that are kind of better at understanding what defenders are doing, and they're trying to attack what the defenders are doing as opposed to just kind of playing in their attacking shape, and those are the challenges.